Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Slime and Slay Outdoors. Today we're going to be showing you 5 musky baits that I believe every beginning musky angler should own. Now I chose these 5 lures because of 3 reasons. 1 being cost. When starting out musky fishing, you don't need to spend $50 or more on a lure. The baits that I have chose are cost efficient. Second, being easy to use and easy to throw. The baits that I have chose for every beginner do just that. And third, being covering all depths. The baits that I chose cover from the top of the surface all the way down to the bottom. Now, before I get into the video, comment down below what your starting 5 would be for every beginning angler. Now, let's get after it. And starting out with number 1 being the Bucktail. This is a bait that every beginning musky angler should own. It has caught probably by far the number 1 fish catching machine out there. It is so easy to use. You can just cast this thing back out, reel it straight back, and you're going to catch fish. You can do different things as speeding up, slowing down, but just casting it out and reeling it straight back is going to catch fish year-round. Now, there's hundreds of different styles of bucktails out on the market. This is one that I personally have made. It is just some deer hair with a single-bladed bucktail. They make stuff as double-bladed. This is number 8, something that I've made, and this is a double cowgirl number 10 model. Again, with the flashy tinsel. This is something that you're going to see a lot of anglers as a beginner. You're going to see a lot of anglers on TV throwing this flashy tinsel with big double blades. And you're going to see them catch tons of fish on it. And it is a great lure. But starting out as a beginner, this is something that, to me, is better starting out because of a couple reasons. One being that it's very easy to use. It's just a single-bladed bucktail. You're not going to put the fatigue on yourself with these double blades. Starting out with just a nice single-bladed bucktail that works year-round, starting right in the spring all the way to, you can throw this right up into the late fall. This is a bait that's going to get the job done. Now, what brand would I maybe recommend or something like that starting out with just being a bucktail? I would maybe say something like the Bucktail. He makes the tinsel and hair models and single-bladed bucktails. Go ahead and go get one of these starting out. They're roughly in the price point of $16 or something like that, $15, $16, versus the double cowgirl that, again, looks very pretty, nice and shiny like that. It's roughly about $26 to $28. So starting out, get yourself a single-bladed bucktail, hook it on, just reel it straight in and straight back to the boat, and you're going to catch fish. Alrighty, let's get into number 2. Number 2 being the Topwater. This by far in the past couple seasons has been my number 1 lure. I've caught so many fish, for one specifically on this lure. As you can tell, the paint's pretty much gone. There's a ton, again, there's tons of different models of Topwaters out there, to the side-to-sides, to the slow creepers, to the chirpers. This is a prop style bait. This is made from Lake X Lures, a Dr. Evil. He makes different sizes from Lake X. This is a fat bastard, a little bit bigger obviously. Now starting out again, I'm going to recommend something small. Works right away in the spring, right to ice up as well. This style here, it is a little bit pricier for a Topwater out there, but this is something to me that is worth spending a little bit extra money on. For one, these Lake X Topwaters are so durable. It's made with hard plastic, and when it hits the water, it instantly is coming up. There's none of this gotta wait, time it, or anything like that. This bait, it hits the water and it comes right back up. Now this Dr. Evil style, I've caught fish, again, right up in ice up with this smaller style bait. You don't need something super big. Every musky angler thinks you gotta have the big profile. Most of the time the muskies are in neutral moods, and something like this littler style bait is something that's easy for them to feed, just like you going to the refrigerator grabbing something small snacky. That is just like them as well. So this Dr. Evil style, in my opinion, is something that is great to have. Now this bait runs roughly in the about $28 to $30 range. There's Topwaters that are a little bit cheaper and of course way more expensive. But this is one lure I'd spend a little bit extra money on, being $28, and get yourself one of these Dr. Evils by Lake X Lures. Again, cast it out, reel it straight back, it's going to plop, and it's so easy to use and catches fish year round. Get yourself a Topwater, throw it in low light, to right at dark stages and you're going to catch fish. Alrighty, let's get into number 3. Number 3 being a jerkbait. I've got 2 different models in my hand right here. One is a suic, one is a bobby bait. Really, starting out, either or is great to have. They both have caught tons of fish throughout the years. Their price point for a jerkbait is very reasonable, being about $20 to $22. There's many different, again, jerkbaits out on the market like that. Bar fighters, you name it, that are $100 to $150. This is a jerkbait that works great. It's been out for years, and it's still out there for many good reasons. It still catches fish. Now, this bobby bait is something that I guess I would recommend. I throw more than suics. For one, it is more buoyant. I fish waters that are shallower and dirtier and stuff like that, so I need something that gets above the weed coverage. If you were maybe to think about starting out throwing more just rock lakes, I maybe would start out with a suic, but either or is still going to work. They have the tail in the back. You can always bend it down, and you can still get, roughly it goes, bobby bait is 1 to 3 feet. Suic again is probably maybe like 2 to 4 feet. So it's great to be working right above the coverage, or you can bend it down and get down a little bit deeper. But jerk baits, when on those tough sunny days when muskies are in neutral moods, the jerk bait is a great option to throw. It's easy to use. Just cast it back, just pull, let it come back up, pull down, let it come back up and rise. And those muskies a lot of times will hit it in the paws. And overall, gotta have a jerk bait in your box. Again, the muskies are in neutral moods most of the time. Bright sunny days, bring out the bobby bait. This is a 9-inch model, and you're gonna catch fish. Alrighty, let's get into number 4. Number 4, being some rubber. Again, this is basically a jerk bait style bait, pull paws, swim bait, anything you want to call it. This is a great bait to have, again, year round. I chose a Medusa here. It's got 3 tails. This is the regular size Medusa. They've got, again, different models out there. They have the regular to Husky to Monster, I believe, like that. This is just a regular. I think it weighs right around 8 to 10 ounces, something like that. It is just a perfect, not too big profile. It's got actually the hole in the center like this. Now I recommend, again, this is a shallow version when it's got the hole in it. Why I recommend the shallow version for every beginning angler is you can be used it over any coverage. If you are fishing shallow, this is great because you can work right above it. But if you were wanting to get down deeper, which a lot of guys, when you're fishing humps and like that, this is a great bait to have. Just work it slower and it will go down deeper. Or also you can just basically take a weight and like just even a sinker type and just clip it right onto the front treble hook, and it's going to ride down deeper. This is a bait that I've caught my personal best muskie on, 52.5. I'll put a picture in right now of it, but this bait here is something that I've caught a ton of fish on, be over humps or even shallow coverage, being a rubber style bait. Just again, simple style bait to throw. You just cast it out, can just pull it back, let it sink back down, pull it back, let it sink back down, or you can just literally just reel this thing back in. And something that I haven't covered yet is the price point. They range in different prices. The bigger you get, the more they are in price. But this regular style runs about $20 to $22. Great lure to have starting out, and right into the late fall, this is somewhere it really shines. So get yourself a Medusa and get casting late in fall with it especially, and you're going to catch some muskies. Alrighty, let's get into number 5. Number 5 being the crankbait. Tons again. Every bait has different models, different types out there. There's a ton of different crankbaits. This is a Naze bait, a Livet 9-inch fish. Why am I choosing this crankbait out of any others? Many different reasons. For one, right off the get-go, the price. This bait here roughly is about that $20 to $22 range. Why I chose this one, another reason is the durability. This bait is made of solid plastic. I cannot break this thing. I can put a lot of pressure on it. It is so durable. See if I can get the camera to focus here. I've got hook marks so worn into it that it'll never, there's no hollow solid body into this thing. It is so durable. You can just pound it in the rocks. The lip is going to get rounded, but it doesn't affect anything of the action. This is a bait that I've done very well on the last few years throwing it over some deep humps. It ranges, you can vary in range and depth. So you can run right up on the surface if you reeled really slow, or you can get it down all the way to roughly almost 10 feet if you reeled really hard. Fishing humps or even mid-lake structures or some weeds that top out maybe like 5-6 feet down only, this is a great bait to have on days that muskies are not as or they're neutral. Cast it out, again, super easy to throw, easy to throw. Cast it out, just reel it straight back to the boat. Give it some twitches a little bit, just pulls or paws, and the thing is going to be so erratic it darts out to one side and you can get it to hang almost vertical. That's where the muskies come in and they T-bone this thing. Great bait to have. Again, tons of different crankbaits out there, but for the price, the quality you get, you cannot go wrong with a $20 to $22 bait that is durable and catches fish. Get a 9-inch livet fish, put it on those deep or those tough days over some humps, hit them into the rocks, and you'll be surprised at what you catch. Well, guys, that's going to wrap it up here. Those are my 5 lures that I believe that every beginning musky angler should own, covering from the top of the water for that surface bait, bucktail, to jerkbaits, to rubber, and all the way to the naze baits, the crankbait. Covers all depths of the water. These baits work right from the beginning of the year right to the end. I've caught fish right in ice up with all these type of baits. I believe for all the price point, I was looking right around $110 to $120, somewhere in that range. It kind of depends on where you get them. But for that price point for 5 lures, that is a very good price point. Again, super easy to use. None of these baits were having a lot of effort to work into them. Just a couple pulls or paws, or literally most of all these baits you can lure just straight in and you're going to catch fish. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you picked something up from it. And not trying to sell any of these lures because I don't get any sponsors from them, but these are lures that I recommend for every beginning angler. Hope you guys found something useful, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Slime and Slay Outdoors.